Welcome to another Lancaster unboxing. I'm not sure what's in this box, so hopefully I didn't just ruin it. Now, very nice. We have another wrist rocket. This is a Scott Archery S2, accurate and completely customizable double sear design with target inspired. So this is, we've done budget trigger releases before. This is not a budget one. I'll throw the price up on the screen right now, but this is more so target archery or, you know, a better hunter, a little more dialed in with their archery senses. You're gonna want one of these. More customizable, not a lot of travel, stuff like that. So let's see what we got. It's always fun messing around with these triggers. This is a Lancaster archery unboxing. I already said that, but the idea of these is Jake ordered a bunch of products. I open them up, I give my honest feedback, test them out, try them. Let me put the link in the description below for you guys to check it out. Scott Archery, they've been around forever. They make some good releases, and I haven't shot one in a very long time, but we got the standard leather belt buckle system to go around your wrist. Looks pretty standard. It doesn't look too different from what they normally do, but we'll throw this on just to see how it feels. Initial reactions. These are always a little tricky to get on, especially since I'm not used to doing it 10,000 years later. This leather, a lot of times too, it takes a minute for it to get worn in, just like anything else. But I'm not a fan of leather straps like this in general until they're worn in more to your personality. Okay. Strap looks good. The actual release itself, it looks like there's a lot going on here. Initial thing, it is a hook style release, so it doesn't clip on the string or anything. It's very similar to a hinge where you just put it right around the D-loop. This is the cocking mechanism right there. That actually was really nice. Looks like they designed it perfect for your thumb. The angle of your thumb is to push right down. The only thing I will say about cocking mechanism quite like this, that's not too bad, but I feel like always if you have gloves on or you're in a pinch, something super tight on a wrist rocket specifically is sometimes a little tricky. I shot one before a couple times and actually hunted with one and stuff, and every now and again you kind of would be like, your fingers are cold, you're up in the tree stand forever, and you go to click it and it's just a little, you maybe got to try twice to click it over, but this one seems pretty good. We got our hook mechanism obviously right here, clips on the D-loop. Nothing looks super wonky about that. This is actually set up really close to how I would want it, but the trigger is actually set up not too bad. There's a little bit of travel in it right now. Let me take this off. Looks like there's a little bit of travel in it right now, but since this is a little bit more adjustable release, I'm guessing we can adjust all of that, which may require some instructions. Stand by. Ooh, what else do we got here? I have no idea what that is. Is that a different? Oh, it's a different trigger style. So if you don't want this trigger, that black piece, you can swap out that trigger, which is kind of cool. Okay, adjusting and replacing triggers, that's what I just talked about. Looks like you can swap it out from this one that's on there with the one that they send in the packaging. It also looks like there's two positions. So on this bracket right here, you can move that up or down, maybe a 1/4 inch or so, just to get a little bit different feel, if that's what you like. We got these two screws right here, adjust how far the neck is or how long the neck is. So this is just some poly rope or something like that, and then they just put a knot right here, but what actually keeps it snug are those two bolts. So you can loosen those, pull it in, pull it out. You can go out a long ways. You can go in about another inch or so. I always love running these wrist releases in a position where you can wrap your finger all the way around and create like a hook, and you still push and pull and relax and do the whole thing, and you're not all the way out on the tip of your finger like this, and then you're just slapping it. It's the worst thing you want to do with a trigger style release. Leads to target panic, leads to all sorts of bad things. Okay, this is what I want to get into right now. Travel adjustment. To adjust the trigger travel of the S2, I'm going to do what they recommend. I'm going to cock it down, and we're going to counterclockwise until it fires. Okay, fired. I'm going to back it off just a little bit. Okay, now there is no travel. So travel is essentially, for those that don't know what travel is, it's the amount that the trigger moves before it fires. So I'll show you what a bunch travel looks like. So see how the release moves, the trigger moves before it fires. Like this would be a good amount of travel. Like it moves, and then it fires. Some people like that. They like that feeling of motion. I do not like that. I like no travel, as close as we can get. So I'm going to turn it clockwise until it fires on its own. There we go. And I'm just going to back it off a tiny bit. And now, no travel. Okay. That's what we want. What else do we got here? Tension adjustment. To adjust the trigger tension on S2, turn the two 832 set. Okay, so we'll increase tension clockwise. So, oh wow, those are way loose. I think you do them kind of the same. Like as a pair. So let's see. Wow, yeah, that's a lot of tension now. Let's see how much we can do. They say if you do it too much, it's inoperable. Probably what I just did probably won't work now. No, it still works. I feel like that didn't move it too much. That's pretty stiff now. That's a good amount. There's a lot of range of motion on this. Wow. I wonder if we can... Never done this before, so this might not work. 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000... 8,600 grains it takes. Too bad this couldn't go to pounds. Does it go to pounds? Ounces. Goes to ounces. Let's try that. Which essentially it will go to pounds, I think. No, it just stays ounces. Okay, so 18 ounces of pressure for that to go off. Let's see. Okay, went too far, it doesn't work. Okay, turned it maybe a full turn there. Oh. I turned it to be more tension. It's still about the same. Kind of fluctuating. Okay, now let's rip it back to where it kind of was. Oh my goodness, that's so light. Like 3 ounces of pressure. 4 ounces of pressure. That's pretty light. Let's see how light we can go. Not even an ounce of pressure. Literally under an ounce of pressure. Wow. Hair trigger. You don't want that, ladies and gentlemen. But that's a really good range. Under an ounce to 18 ounces of pressure is very good. So a lot of range. One thing, I mean, I'm moving these set screws literally by doing this. I don't think there's any, unless I don't see this correctly. Yeah, there's no locking set screws. So that's like a little concerning that maybe these get moved, especially this one. I mean, I am just barely fluttering this to move that. So I don't love that, but honestly, you could probably back these out like that to expose the threads. Put a little dab of non-locking Loctite, and you could probably be okay. As you tighten them down, they get more friction. It's probably where we want to be. Yeah, right around 5 ounces of pressure. Okay, good adjustability. For funsies, let's pop off this trigger. So we are going to swap our trigger deal here. Tiny little screw that they have on this. Yeah, so that's more of your standard type of release hook. The other one was kind of like front forward. So until you actually shoot it, you can mess around with different options, but feels really good, feels really crisp. I think that's about all I got on this bad boy. So let's go ahead and shoot a little bit. Wrist rocket. I haven't shot one of these in a while. So locking, it's not too bad of a position, but you can see I'm kind of like Tyrannosaurus Rex to get that locked. Then it just hooks just like that, which I actually like this. I don't like the ones where you have to sit there and clip it. It's like I can just so quickly find this. Kind of use your thumb also to just kind of guide in the D-loop. I mean, when I did use one hunting like years ago, 10 plus years ago, I used one like this, just a hook, and you can just find it so easily. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's weird. Ooh, that was my wrist. My wrist ain't used to this. Oh, wow. My anchor point, I would have to move my peep sight up about 1 inch. Okay, we need to do some adjustments. So I need to let this out a little bit, and then I'm probably gonna put the other hook back on and put it up higher because I feel like I'm like going so far back into it. Okay, so we got the trigger way far forward now, which is a lot better, but I think it does need to be just forward just a smidge. So we're gonna loosen these, hopefully not change this knot. I'm just gonna, yeah, about that much, pull a little bit. This just literally clamps it. There's a piece of metal there, piece of metal here, clamps that down. It's attached to the leather wrist strap. Okay, let's try her again. Now it's probably gonna be too long. Not too bad. But you do want to wrap your finger maybe just a touch more than that, but it's not bad. So you wrap it. Oh, wow. I probably would want it a little bit colder than that. But luckily, this adjustment is pretty dang easy. Keep it on my wrist. Just tighten it down a little bit. And you want to do them, I guess, I'm learning as you guys are, equal increments as you turn those two. Don't know why, but you do. Let's try it again. Yeah, that's nice. I'm gonna move this little thing, this little trigger back if we're trying to make it perfect. I'm gonna keep this style on, but move it back to that hole so I can wrap a little bit more finger around it. Hello. Yep, that's better. I could probably shorten my strap just a touch. Yeah. Feels pretty nice, actually. The Scott S2. Really good release. I actually really like this. It is super adjustable. I really like that it just has a single hook here. Got 2 different trigger arms. We got as much or as little adjustment as you want on this main strap. A standard leather strap, which is totally fine. There's nothing really you can do about that. The only con to this release, I would say, is these 2 adjustment screws. The fact that you got to move both of them at the same time, that you can't 100% move them exactly the same both ways, that they're really loose. I don't know if over time, potentially one would smidge out and it would feel like it's getting, you know, hotter or colder over time, but potentially a little bit of Loctite might fix that. So the new Scott S2, great option for a high quality, like a better trigger release compared to, you know, we've done stuff like this. If you're rocking one of these right now and you're like, I'm just not loving it, you know, this TrueFire, this is a Stinger, a TrueBall Stinger. Like, these are your cheapo releases that, you know, no adjustment. It's this claw system. You got 1,000,000 miles of travel. Like, look at this travel in this release before it even goes off. Like, you got to move it a mile and then boom, it goes. Same with this one. You got to move it a mile and then it'll release. That's not good. That doesn't make you a good shooter. It actually makes you a bad shooter over time because it develops bad habits, develops punching, develops target panic. So upgrading, if you still want to not go to like a button and want to go to a better trigger style release, this will be a great option. Be able to have no travel, be able to micro adjust, be able to move the strap to the correct finger position that you want. So Scott S2, make sure to check it out in the description below at LancasterArcherySupply.com.